Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Armin. I'm the founder of Elite Speakers Academy, and I'm here with the privilege of having an amazing individual sitting next to me. And I just want to kind of dive deep and get to know who you are and what you do. So, what's your name and what do you do?
My name is the Brian Fuller.
Okay, cool. We got a "the" at the end. That's good. That's good. And what do you do, man? What do you do, Brian?
I am a motivational speaker that teaches people how to unlock the power that's already within them.
Okay, awesome. I love that. I love that. So how'd you get into this being a speaker thing? Like, how'd you get into, being a motivational speaker? Can you tell us your story?
Sure. This is a very excellent question. I wish I could tell you that I woke up one morning, I knew I was a motivational speaker, but that's not quite the journey that I had. I'm going to go back to when I was in school, elementary school. And this is important because I was that child that was in, I don't know if they still have them, but special education classes. I struggled with my reading and writing and was deathly afraid to speak in front of the class because I thought that I couldn't do it, and it was something that brought so much fear into my heart. And I remember in grade 7 to grade 8, something unlocked in me where I became more self-aware. And the areas where I struggled with my reading and writing, it seemed like overnight, I learned to do the things that I couldn't do before. And in that process, I was starting to find more confidence. And I had opportunities to share in front of the class, and I was still fearful, but I did it. But still at that point, I didn't know that this was my ultimate destination, to inspire people.
Wow. So what was, like, if there was a defining moment, like a turning point, is there a moment where you were sitting maybe in class, maybe at home, maybe you saw something? What was that moment that you made the decision, like, I think this is what I want to do. I think I want to be a speaker. I think I want to help people. Like, what was that moment for you? Can you take us back to that time?
I remember being in a work team meeting, and at the end we were having lighthearted discussion. And one of my coworkers, he stopped the entire discussion. He said, "Brian, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but everybody is hanging off of every word that you're saying." Wow. And I don't remember what I was saying, but in that moment I kind of sensed something, but wasn't sure. And then there was a moment after that, after coming back from college, a friend of mine who was running a youth group, he had asked me to do a training session with his group. And I remember this incredibly powerful moment where, as I was speaking to them, and I said something clever because they all stopped to write it down, but in unison, everyone's heads dropped and everyone picked up their pen or pencil and began to write that last thing I said. And I was like, this is where I'm meant to be.
Wow.
To speak into people's lives. And I knew from that moment that I had to follow this path.
I love that, speaking into people's lives. That's a bold step. I love that, man. So that's amazing. So did you get this from, like, any type of influencers growing up? Like who was your role model growing up? Did you become the opposite to family, or did you model family, or did you maybe see something on TV, or, like, can you tell me where you got the ideas and what inspired you?
Well, as far as inspiring is concerned in my family, I'm very much the opposite of my family.
Black sheep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm more talkative.
Yeah.
Well, we're all talkative, but I've always inspired when I spoke.
Yeah.
And tried my best to lift people up. I don't know why or why I gravitated towards that, but I'm always a positive thinker and try to look at things from different vantage points.
Where do you think you got that from? If you really thought about it.
I think that I got that from just seeing where things are and even where the past is, and it may not have been pretty or ideal, but knowing that things could always be infinitely better.
Right. Just an eternal optimist.
Exactly.
What's inspiration? Like, if you were to define it, because you do it well. I've seen you speak, and you really motivate. You like, I was hanging off every word you were saying when you were speaking.
Thank you.
And so my question is, what do you think inspiration is? Like, how do you define it?
I think inspiration can be defined by words, writing, a moment that speaks into someone's heart and elevates them from where they are and allows them to see beyond the circumstance that they're currently in, that gives them a passion to want to change, and not just to want to change, but to make the necessary actions and course corrections to be better than the moment that they're currently living.
Incredible. So you think there's a close tie between inspiration and optimism?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like they're able to see what more can my life be?
Exactly.
And so by definition, that would mean you actually put that into people. Like when you speak, people walk away thinking, what more could I be?
Yeah, it's humbling, but it's also very rewarding, because it's humbling to know that where my journey started and being able to speak into people's lives, but it's also rewarding knowing that, again, from where my journey started, that I became more than my circumstance.
Incredible. Incredible. Okay, so if you were to say like the major challenge you've overcome in your life, what would that major be? Was it the school situation, or did you have something that really defined you, like if you look back, you'd be super grateful for? Like the biggest challenge, the biggest adversity you've successfully got over, what would that be?
Well, this is definitely a very transparent question. The biggest obstacle that I overcame is depression. I fell into depression because I was trying to be more than I was, and things around me started falling away. You know, my relationships broke, work in a sense broke. I was promoted, then demoted, and I got to this place where I was feeling empty. That, man, like I didn't want to keep going. And I don't mean to be morbid, but those thoughts started creeping into my mind, and I knew that I couldn't stay in that place, because my life meant more than the moment, meant more than the failure, meant more than how I was perceiving the world around me. That I just needed to shift my perspective so that I could see that that the obstacle that I was facing wasn't something I couldn't overcome. So that was the biggest moment, was facing depression, but then also having the people that loved and supported me through the process, so that I could be in this place now where I know that it's not the end. It's trying and challenging, and sometimes extremely dark. And to be honest, sometimes that darkness still calls to me. But I know where I'm going. I know why I'm here. And that sense of purpose and passion, it pulls me forward, because I know there's someone just like me who may think that no one cares or loves them, or they don't know how to shift the way they think. And I'm here to help them learn how to do that, and to live from a place of power that not only empowers their lives, but empowers the lives of the people in their circle of influence.
Man, you got me in my heart, man. That was powerful. Once again, I was hanging off every word you were saying. I just went into a trance right now. Damn. And that's really what a lot of us go through, right?
Yeah.
Right, these slopes. And in those moments we think that is permanent. But we have people like yourself that we can look to as a guide, right? And being a guide doesn't mean we have to be perfect.
That's
right?
the truth, yeah.
The part that makes you a leader is accepting that reality is sometimes we go through it ourselves. But what do we do with that? And you just back-to-back proven your level of strength and optimism. So I admire you for that. I want to commend you for that. So, and once again, thanks for being here, because
Thank you for having me.
I think it's incredible that people hear stories of other people to see what's possible for them, right? Okay, cool. So I really want to ask, I know how you got here, and I heard a little bit about your motives. But if you were to say, like, right now, daily, you live this pursuit of passion towards speaking into people's lives. Why do you really do it all? Like, the ultimate reason. What's the driver?
I firmly believe with everything that's within me that I'm called to do this. I'm called to call people back to themselves. We're chasing like things that are not meant to be chased. And by that, I mean happiness. Happiness is a wonderful thing. You know, anything can make you happy. Bubbles can make you happy. Puppies can make you happy. There's a list. But those things are fleeting. And I'm here I do what I do just so that people understand that they need to live from a place that will bring them greater sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things are going to happen that bring us to our lowest points. And other times things are going to happen that make us wonderfully happy and just over the moon. But we have to learn to live from a place where regardless of what happens, we're going to keep moving forward. And I'm called to help people understand this.
Yeah.
A greater sense of purpose, a greater sense of fulfillment. And if I don't do this, I'm doing a disservice to my calling, but I feel like I'm gonna die and someone else is gonna die without knowing that their life has greater meaning.
Incredible, incredible. I mean, when you think about some of the greatest leaders in history, it was really black and white, the same way you just explained it. The black and white was, it's either they do what they're meant to do or they die. And so I'm really happy that you just said that because it's just more evidence that true leadership is commitment, isn't it?
It is.
So to wrap this up, I always love to ask this question. And I want you to look dead center into the person on the other side of this camera's eyes. And in one sentence, let's say today was your last day and you were to leave a message, something maybe for your old self, whatever, someone's watching. What's that one message after everything you've gone through you would leave the person listening right now in one sentence, two sentences, and you could look at them right in the eyes and let them know that message? What would that message be?
We've all learned to live from this state that is called happiness. And like I said earlier, happiness is such a wonderful thing. But happiness is fleeting. It's defined by what is happening. So when things are up or when things are down, this happiness, which is external, affects us. My passion and my purpose is help you live from a place where you're not affected by the external, but you're empowered by the external. That thing that's inside of you that helps you pull yourself forward from every moment, every day, every second. I'm here to help you learn to live from a place of greater fulfillment, to cultivate it, and to ultimately help people in your circle do the same.
Incredible. Beautiful. Brian, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching the show. I really appreciate your time as well. So